In this video, we're discussing the process of going through the repair inspection and coming up with a repair estimate that we will then use to determine what our maximum allowable offers could be, and then talk a little bit more about strategy in a separate video section. This video will specifically deal with the process of estimating the repairs. And as you can see here, I've already entered seller's information, property address, square footage, and I've pulled my ARV. If I've done my market data research prior to this, and I've determined by plugging this lead into my market data spreadsheet, I've come up with an after repair value of $129,000 based on the average dollars per square foot from the market data spreadsheet. Now, on this repair sheet, as you can see, you've got a complete comprehensive list of items, and you simply go through and check, yes, I need this, no, I do not. And by the way, you can print this form for use in the field. You want to enter your own cost data, by the way. The cost data that you see entered in this spreadsheet is purely for example purposes and may or may not have any direct relation to actual costs per item in your area. So the first thing you want to do is take a trip down to your local building supply store and verify your cost per unit data so that you are actually using the correct numbers here. These numbers in this particular electronic version of the spreadsheet can be edited on the fly to recalculate totals for you. And so once you get your unit costs for your area, you want to enter those unit costs in the spreadsheet so that you can calculate an accurate repair estimate for your area. You're simply going to continue down the spreadsheet through each item as you do your inspection, and you can quickly look at an item. Even if you don't know much about construction, you can at least look at an item and say yes, it needs it, or no, it does not. And then if you've got accurate cost data plugged in, you can simply refer to the number of units needed for that particular item. For example, in roofing, a square is a 27 square foot surface, which means one bundle of shingles covers 27 square feet. Gutters are by the linear foot. Floor covering is generally by the square yard when we're talking about carpeting. Vinyl is maybe by the square foot or the square yard, as the case may be. Paint, of course, by the gallon, and so forth. So you go down through your entire list as you do your on-site repair inspection, noting each item that needs to be done, and then, if necessary, calculating the total amount needed by using a handheld calculator to determine, how many square feet for this particular item or how many gallons of paint will be needed. For example, a 1 gallon of paint generally covers about 400 square feet of surface for one coat. So if you have a 400 square foot surface and you need only one coat, that would be about 1 gallon of paint, and so forth. So the process of actually computing repairs in detail is best left to reference manuals that deal with that specific subject, and there are some references in the material to sources for cost guides such as Marshall and Swift's and things of that nature to help you come up with actual per unit pricing. But for the purposes of this video, we mainly want to discuss the function of the spreadsheet. After we've entered all of our necessary items in the spreadsheet, we'll have a total cost at the bottom. We have a spot to enter a construction management fee, and then a total job cost. And I've also added a couple of notes here that we're assuming, since there's no management fee, myself as the buyer is planning on managing this project, so I'm not paying an outside management fee. And I'm estimating about 240 labor hours at $15 an hour for a 3-man crew working 40 hours a week for 2 weeks. So that's basically a very easy way to compute labor. You could also include labor when you're checking your cost per unit. You could price these items out based on including installation. And again, the local building supply store is a good place to get a labor cost to include in that, because they do often provide labor or installation services. So you could find out what a per unit cost for a stove would be to have it delivered and installed simply by checking with the local building supply store. Once you've got all of your totals and your items are in, it's time to refer back to the top of the spreadsheet to see what we'll now do with these numbers to help us calculate our maximum allowable offer. As you can see, it pulls the total for the repair estimate up to the top of the spreadsheet. We've manually entered our ARV. I've taken that from my market data spreadsheet and have just simply typed it into the after repair value field on this form. But now this form will start to do some things for us once we have our repair calculation on the form itself. First, you'll notice that in this green section, it gives you an option for a flip Mayo, a hold Mayo, and a retail Mayo, which is maximum allowable offers. In the next video, we'll discuss what role this particular section plays and how to use it to determine what type of offer you want to use for this property.